Hi there, you're joining myself, Kyle McLean, and Craig Dennett live at Ibrox as Rangers have just defeated St Johnstone 2-0 in the league to close the gap to 2 points with a game in hand. Craig, we'll just get straight into it. What was your initial thoughts on that game overall?
Yeah, I think it was a pretty comfortable win. I think 2-0 is what I predicted at half time. But it was it was a comfortable game all round. We didn't face much issue at the back. We were pretty comfortable going forward. It was a team that hadn't really played together before, so it was I guess you could probably see that, especially in the final third. We weren't quite creating the chances that we wanted to, or we weren't quite getting those final finishing touches. The St Johnstone goalkeeper had a really good game. He stopped 3 or 4, especially at the start of the second half. It's really windy here. My tears are running down my face. Thank God for hand warmers, but it was a comfortable win for Rangers. The main thing is 2 points behind with one game in hand, and we keep that run going.
Yeah, I've never seen Craig so emotional after a routine 2-0 league victory. He's greeting about it. But listen, the first action point comes around about 15 minutes. You could see everybody's head going down. Roof was not happy that he came off. I suppose not a big surprise. Something sadly we've just come to expect from Roof. His body just can't handle this. But putting a bit of a positive spin on it, Cyril Dessers came on, was awarded man of the match. We'll talk about his goal and his sort of overall play tonight. I thought he took his goal really, really well. Bit of a striker's instinct. I think it was Ronald De Boer that said himself, a confident Cyril Dessers is a good player. I think we're starting to see a wee bit in the last 2 games. I just felt his hold-up play was a bit better tonight. And one thing I wanted to say about him is, see when he doesn't snatch at it, when he doesn't blast the ball, when he actually takes a second, composes himself and thinks about it. Like, that was a brilliant finish for me tonight, Craig.
Yeah, I think he really impressed when he came on. He's had a lot of stick obviously in the last couple of months, but it seems in recent weeks he's coming on to a bit of a game. He seems to have found his confidence in front of goal again, which is really positive. And his hold up play, like you said, is really good at times. And I think we're starting to see some of the positives that he can bring to the team. I don't think I hear as many people shouting for him to be sold in January anymore. I think Sam Lammers is still on that list. Even after today's game, it was a struggle for Sam Lammers, but Cyril Dessers is starting to show a bit of his value, and maybe not quite as full transfer value just yet, but he's starting to fill the gap that we really need filled at this stage. He's the only striker we've got really. Kamar Roof going off after 15 minutes is just typical. There's not much more you can say about that. I think Kamar Roof's time at Rangers is long up. He's a great player, but he's just not on the park often enough. But Cyril Dessers today was really good. His finish for the first goal was really well taken underneath the goalkeeper. I feel like we're going to get blown away a wee bit here. But his goal was well taken. We'll come on to the penalty as well. His run and then nicking it past the keeper and waiting for the contact. It was a really positive performance from Cyril Dessers and a well-deserved man of the match.
Yeah, 100%. It's just it's coming at a perfect time as well when we've got a bit of an injury crisis up front, I suppose, now with Roof going off. And sorry, I just can't stop laughing at you wiping your tears away in the background of this video here. But yeah, just it comes at a perfect time. We do have a bit of a striker crisis now. I think an area we'll definitely look to go and strengthen in the January window. But yeah, just I'm glad that he's hitting form at the right time. The next action point I want to talk about in the game, Craig, was the red card. I think you and I both thought, or everybody else sitting in the gantry as well, initially thought, like, that is the reddest of red cards you've ever seen in your life. 2 foot off the ground, lunges, doesn't make contact with the ball. That was a ridiculous decision from the referee to go and give a yellow card. I don't care what anybody says. I know we've got VAR, but that should have been a straight red card.
Yeah, I think everyone in the stadium knew. There's 47,000 people on their feet as soon as it happened. Everyone knew it was a red card. When we obviously tweeted about it during the game, there are a few people saying that the referee is actually instructed to give a yellow card, which then allows VAR to make the decision. But the referee's got to be strong and go with what his feeling is on the park, and it was a red card all day long. I don't imagine there's anyone dissenting against that, and it was a well-deserved red card as well. I thought we were going to push on from that point. we didn't really do much for the rest of the first half. And second half, we huffed and we puffed, but we looked a wee bit disjointed in the final third. So probably disappointing that it was only 2-0, but to be honest, I came here wanting the 3 points, and we got 3 points despite a lot of changes to the team.
Yeah, I thought 2 months ago we don't win this game. I just don't think we have the mentality to do it. My next point, the player that was injured as a result of that red card challenge, John Lundstrom, he looked not limping, but he wasn't as free movement as he normally was, and the player that he was replaced by was Johnstone. I just want a word about Johnstone. See, if I wasn't a football fan or I wasn't a Rangers supporter, and who wouldn't want to be a Rangers supporter, but if you told me that guy had played central midfield his whole life, I would totally believe you. His movement, his anticipation, and there was one moment, I think it was around 70 minutes, that it was a fair challenge by the St Johnstone player, but he was instantly up back on his feet and tearing down that left wing, trying to chase the ball back, which I think he did win. Just a word on Johnstone. Had a fantastic performance in the cup final at the weekend, and another brilliant performance today, I felt. It's
a role he's really grown into. I think the first time he played there, he came on for the second 45 minutes of a game, and he looked like a rabbit caught in the headlights, but he's really grown into the role, and quickly he seems to be taking on instruction well from the management team. Luke Camonte said he's been impressed by him in there, and he's growing game by game, so I'd have no hesitation of him being in there. I don't think it's his natural position, but I actually think he looks better in there than he does at right back at times. James Tavernier's obviously going to play right back more often, so that may be the role that Johnstone takes for us going forward, but it's one that I was nervous about when it was first put forward as an idea, but now I'm more than comfortable with him in there.
Yeah, 100%. I think Jose Cifuentes was actually sitting a few seats behind us in the stands, and I think he's got a real job in his hands to get his place back in that team, based on the way that Sterling's playing, because he's been fantastic in the small glimpses we've seen of him. Craig, I think the next point I want to make is just a sort of general one about our overall play. A comment the manager made when he came in was the players are afraid to make mistakes. And I think that's something that was clearly been worked on. Okay, this was 2-0 going on 6. Their goalkeeper had a fantastic game tonight, some really, really good saves. I think that was mentioned by John Walker on the pre-match analysis thread on Twitter. Go and check that out. That'll be available for most games if you haven't done that already. But yeah, it was just good. Like, we were trying things, we weren't afraid to attack, and it's just something that I really like seeing from a Rangers team.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something that we continue to do, and we see more and more of as the games go on, especially from that midfield to front. Passing and the movement in there, we tend to try a bit more. We saw Red Van Yilmaz have an absolute shocker of a game tonight, but he was still trying things. He wasn't put off by the fact he wasn't playing well. And Kieran Dowell as well. I'm probably stealing part of your agenda there, but Kieran Dowell making his first start in God knows how long for us. He wasn't scared to try things either, and that's what you want. That's the mentality you want. We've got to try and be creative to break down these low blocks. We've got to try and be creative to break down these 2 banks of 5, and it's difficult at times, especially here at Ibrox when teams come in and sit in. St Johnstone were down to 10 men. They were trying to keep it 1-0 for as long as possible, and then probably try and hit us on with a counter attack with 10 minutes to go or whatever, and sneak something. So it wasn't easy. We should have had the game wrapped up earlier, but I really enjoy the way we play football. It's not it went stale very quickly under Giovanni Van Bronckhorst. It went stale very quickly under Michael Beale. I don't see that happening under Luke Camonte.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen under Camonte as well. He's too scary for the team to go stale under him, isn't he? And my other point I really wanted to pick up on was something that I was really impressed by the team, and saw a wee bit of it at the weekend, saw a wee bit of it against Betis, but okay, I know a lower level opposition against St Johnstone tonight, but our desire to win the ball back is when it was lost was phenomenal. I already talked about Johnstone. There was a couple of times Tav on this right side, I know much maligned for his defensive duties, but I thought that's something that's clearly been worked on. We were hunting it in packs at times, even though they were down to 10 men, but we were still winning the ball back very, very quickly. What did you make of that side of our game tonight?
I really enjoy our pressing these days under Fleet come on. It's been a notable change to how we play and how we set up. Beforehand, when Michael Beale was here, we saw Cyril Dessers perhaps going himself, or we saw going in ones and twos. Now we go as a team, and it makes such a difference when we do that. When we win the ball back high up the park so often, it just gives us so much momentum, and it creates so much more space and so many more chances, because we're not trying to break down those two banks of five. You're against threes or fours, and it's easier to work the ball around and create some space. So it's a huge part of how we play now. I really hope we continue it. I think if we do that at Celtic Park on the 30th, we'll see a lot of joy from that. That's the way to play against this Celtic team, and it's one that we were crying out for earlier in the season, and Michael Beale just did not set us up that way. So long may it continue. I'm really enjoying seeing it, and we'll reap the benefits of it if it does.
I know that's how you can tell it's December, when there's an old firm getting mentioned. There's already a couple of games in the way before then. But yeah, and look, final point of the game tonight, Craig, we touched on it a wee tad earlier. The penalty, not even a question in my mind. I'm sure you'll get your usual idiots in social media saying it's not a penalty, trying to stir the pot and all that stuff, but I thought Dessers did really, really well for this. Just sort of held the ball, could see the goalkeeper coming out and sort of waited for the contact, didn't he?
He did. It was a really good weighted ball through. I can't remember exactly who it was that played it. I would take a stab at Kieran Dowell, but it might not have been. But it was a really good weighted ball through. Cyril Dessers, I thought it maybe was on his heels a wee bit, but I think he timed it perfectly just to ensure he nicked the ball just before the keeper came flying out and took his legs away from him. So great work from Cyril Dessers again. James Tavernier finding the bottom left hand corner with ease. Not even sure the goalkeeper moved for it, did he, to be honest, but found the bottom corner with ease, and 2-0 Rangers, and it was a bit of a more comfortable last 6 or 7 minutes for us. I assume you're going to mention the big red man in the suit, are you?
I certainly am. It's very rare you come to Ibrox. A routine 2-0 win in the best part of the game was Santa coming out at half time with the League Cup trophy. That was a brilliant bit of housery by Rangers, and fair play to the team there. But just before we finish, Craig, man of the match, Cyril Dessers?
Man of the match, Cyril Dessers, but I thought James Tavernier was really positive again today. I thought Johnstone was good. Ross McCausland keeps asking for the ball, keeps wanting the ball, willing to try stuff. Maybe needs a wee bit more end product, but lots of really good positives. And plenty of players rested as well, which I think is a big thing when you get such a big run of games, especially when you had such difficult games as we did last week. So all positives here at Ibrox. Thank God for hand warmers.
That's it, exactly. Yeah, we're about to dash off inside and get warm and sit in for the pressers and see what's been said about that. Brilliant routine win. You'll take it all day long. The gap closed down to 2 points. Craig, I think you'll be back tomorrow breaking the game down in a bit more analysis with a couple of the guys. That'll be out live at 8:30, so make sure you go and check that out. Take care, everybody, and it's always brilliant seeing Santa at half time.